Hi, I'm Emily Grant, and this is my vlog for my New Student Dialogue. I attended the New Student Dialogue that was dealing with the power of privilege, and I actually learned a lot while I was there, and it really opened my eyes to a lot of things that I didn't expect it to. Um, in my dialogue, at first, we read about what the difference between a debate, a discussion, and a dialogue is. Whereas a debate, there are two opposing sides, and there's always like a final, like, you always like reach a final destination in your arguments, and like a final like side is chosen, and there's just an agreement, and there's like an end to it. Whereas if you participate in a discussion or dialogue, it's more of just like a forum to like express ideas and maybe like develop those ideas but never really form a conclusion for them, which I found was really interesting and I was excited to learn. In my dialogue, there were definitely some active voices. A group of probably 10 people were the most like outspoken. I went to a late dialogue, so more people were let in than should be, and more people that signed up. And so we had around 41 people, but there were probably a group of 10 that were really outspoken and really contributed to the overall discussion. Um, there were definitely reserved people. There were a ton of people who didn't say a single word, and they were either too shy or feel like their opinions might have been unwanted or too harsh. But either way, the dialogue went really smoothly, and it was actually the perfect outcome for dialogue now that I think about it. Um, I was not outspoken or reserved. I definitely had input in the dialogue, but I did not actually really talk the whole time or like raise my hand every time. But if I saw that there was a topic and my opinion hadn't been shared, or people probably wouldn't know my opinion unless I said it, then I definitely contributed to the overall discussion of it. Um, I think the dialogue is a component of Library 100 because Library 100 definitely introduces you to the beginning of college. You have your summer reading essay, which is typical for every school since you're in like sixth grade. And then you have your library tutorials, which definitely helps you with your study habits. Metacognition and everything that the professor from Stanford talks about is just very, very informative, and that actually helped a lot with my study habits here. Um, Other than that, um, the new student dialogues are a part of Library 100 because it really like opens your eyes. You don't think about the things that were talked in that, and you don't appreciate and or are disappointed by so many things because you don't really think about it. But the dialogue really gives you like a required forum to discuss those ideas and opinions and topics and just etc. And I think it was definitely very cool. And if I could like participate those a lot, my ideas about many aspects of this world would change and develop a lot more. And I just thought it was very cool. However, the topic of my dialogue was the power of privilege, as I said before. And the power of privilege really has to deal with, like, we talked about the privileges on Clemson campus in general. Everybody kind of got in groups, and you filled out this sort of pie chart, and in that pie chart you mentioned your socioeconomic class, your race, your gender, your age, your ethnicity, everything like that. And then they separated you into random groups, and you determined in that pie chart your most, like, the part of that, you rated those topics 1 to 10 and like how important those are in the development of yourself. And I was put in a random group of 3 girls, and even though there were 3 girls, white, my age, our answers were so different, and it was actually like very. I just didn't think about it before, and it was like very interesting to be around and to hear their side of how like they grew up and how they were raised. Then after that, we separated. I mean, we all gathered back in our groups, and we talked about how like everyone's differences and how their groups went, and then everybody started sharing their ideas and thoughts about how they grew up and stuff like that, and I thought that was extremely cool. And then we did this other exercise, which was everybody stands in the line, and they have you like step forward or step back based on if you are this or this or this. And it was just very cool to see how separated people were, for what reason, etc. And it was just very, you kind of feel like everyone, if you're at a place, everyone's the same as you. It's just, you fit in there, so they, so you must be the same, but it's so different. That's so not the case, and it was extremely eye-opening. But the main reason I like the power of privilege is because I never realized how fortunate I am in my life. And I really, really began to appreciate all that my mom and dad have done for me throughout my entire life. And it just really made me thankful. I even called my mom and thanked her for everything they've ever done for me, even though I do it all the time. I just decided to do it again. Let's see what else. We also, in the Power Village, we compared the privileges that everybody saw as like specific to Clemson University, and it was extremely superficial and very like disturbing. And because everybody was like, oh, what's the dominant gender? Male, white, Southern, Catholic, you know, like it was just very, I don't know, it was disturbing to me. And other than that, we talked about how the privilege of transfer students, and my friend is trying to transfer to UGA next year, and a lot of girls were like, you don't want to rush second year, and you know, you're always behind if you transfer because, you know, credits won't always transfer and you're going to have to retake classes and then you're behind in your major and, like, all that stuff. And so I thought that was very cool to hear, too, because I warned my friend about it just because I was nervous. I was like, I don't know, sorry. But it was very cool, and I really enjoyed it. Originally, I was signed up for the What Happened Last Night, but apparently when I got there, that was what we were doing, Power of Privilege, not What Happened Last Night. But I was so thankful that I got to experience what I experienced, because if it was just what happened last night, I feel like I would have not paid attention to it at all, and I would just been like everything else that people, you know, learn throughout the beginning of college and throughout college in general, and I'm just very happy that's what I was given instead. But that wraps up my vlog. I'm really excited about what I learned, and I'm really excited that I got to go. That's it.